0% chance we're doing that today. So let's talk about where the far right really excels. One is political violence. You outrank everyone. In fact, you outrank everyone else combined.
Stop. Let's get this right. She said political violence, but her charts don't show political violence. They show extreme and ideological violence. Political violence is a type of ideological violence, but not all ideological violence is political violence. Let's look at her charts. Extremist-linked deaths from 2013 to 2022. And now let's look at the bottom one here. Ideologically motivated homicide victims in the United States from 1990 to 2020. The sources that she's using aren't even backing up the point she's trying to make. White supremacy accounts for like 80% of ideological violence on the right, like ideological extremist violence. But that's not political, that's ideological. So everything she just said, wash that. Swing and a miss. Just because you speak fast and confidently does not mean you're correct. Now let's see what else she had to say.
Combined, let's give a recent example. When Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, and their dog were murdered in their home by a man who impersonated an officer, tried to kill two other Democratic leaders, and had a list of Democratic leaders he wanted to kill, the left called for gun reform. They called for us to turn down the political rhetoric.
All right, let me stop her again. First thing, Melissa Hortman, she used that recent example because that's essentially the only real legitimate one they have. So she gave that example, now it's my turn. Name me two nationally known Democratic figures that have been shot in the past 2 years by people with extreme right-wing beliefs. Name me two. Donald Trump has been shot, and the other guy that tried to assassinate him just got convicted for trying to assassinate him. Charlie Kirk just got a bullet put through his neck a couple of weeks ago. Nationally known figures on the right, this is happening to. The guy who shot Charlie Kirk had left-wing ideologies engraved on his bullet casings. Those are two prominent figures who are undeniably on the right. Give me that equivalent recently with the left that that's happened to. But I mean, I don't have to stop there. How about the ICE facility that was recently shot up? The guy had anti-ICE writings on one of the bullet casings. Multiple people were shot. Who's running around chanting about anti-ICE? But we're not done. You know when Jimmy Kimmel got taken off of air? An ABC affiliate was shot up. Yes, with bullet holes. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Who was not happy about Jimmy Kimmel being taken off of air? The left. How about the individual who tried to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh? Oh, also the man who tried to kill Justice Kavanaugh now identifies as a woman. More left-wing political violence. What about the pro-Palestine guy that tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house in Pennsylvania? The left loves Palestine. Not even talking about Tesla. All the attacks on Elon Musk or anyone driving a Tesla. Teslas were shot, they were set on fire. Why? Because Elon Musk is on the right. Didn't even mention the congressional baseball attack. Steve Scalise was injured there. And the Tesla violence was everywhere. So yes, the left absolutely has a problem with political violence right now. It is undeniable. So please, sit down. Also, just a reminder to subscribe to my Substack. This is a great place to get more in-depth information from me. I also give you morning updates or morning briefings about what's going on each day. I cannot be censored here. The link is in my profile. Just go there, click the link. You'll see the screen here. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans.
All right, let's break this down. First off, Donald Trump and the Republicans did not shut down the government. The clean continuing resolution passed in the House. Donald Trump is ready to sign it. Democrats are using the filibuster in the Senate to stop this from happening. The filibuster essentially means that senators can end debate on a topic indefinitely. And in order to break past the filibuster, you need to have 60 votes in the Senate. So Democrats are quite literally causing a shutdown because they want more spending on healthcare. But again, a clean continuing resolution is already passed in the House. Democrats are blocking it in the Senate. When I say clean, it essentially just means that they're going to continue to fund the government at its current levels just to keep the lights on. No policy change is not adding anything, just keeping it clean to keep people paid and keep the government operating. Democrats are saying no to that, and they're trying to use that as leverage to get policy changes because Congress controls the purse. So they're using this continuing resolution as leverage to get what they want. They're trying to jam their policies into a resolution to keep the government running. But now that I've said that, let's go back to what Hakeem Jeffries said again. I addressed the first part. Democrats have essentially stuck a piece of metal in the gears that were turning and are now blaming the gears. But let's get to the second half of what he said.
Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans.
That's a lie. We already addressed how they didn't shut the government down. Second off, he does want health care for working class Americans. They're talking about the cuts over the next 10 years that are happening with Medicaid. Now, mind you, around 90% of people are still expected to be covered. Do you know who the #1 target of these cuts are? Able-bodied adults aged 19 through 64 without disabilities, dependents, or other exemptions. They are increasing work requirements for these individuals in order for them to qualify. If you don't have disabilities, children, or any other exemptions, why shouldn't you be working at least 20 to 30 hours a week to contribute to our society? You're just supposed to be able to sit back, not do anything, and then reap the rewards from other people's work? So no, Donald Trump very much wants working class people to be insured. He doesn't want people mooching off the system, and I don't blame him. Also, of our federal budget, about 13% of it goes to just interest on debt. Just for context, Medicare is 14% of our budget. So 13% of our budget is going to interest payments, and that rate is accelerating. So the government has to do something to get this interest under control. If they don't get interest payments under control, our government will spend more and more money on interest payments, and we won't have money for all these entitlement programs or our defense. So the government has to figure out a way to take on less debt and having more money to take on interest payments. The money has to come from somewhere. They're looking after the financial health of our nation. Don't forget about my Substack. It's a free email newsletter. I give you morning updates here and things like this in more detail. The link is in my profile. Just go there, drop your email in, you'll be good to go.
It's midnight. The Republican shutdown has just begun because Republicans wouldn't protect America's health care. We are going to keep fighting for the American people.
I'm going to show you how hypocritical Chuck Schumer is. Watch this.
But I assure you, I assure the public, a shutdown would have been the greatest disaster we have, but the alternative being a shutdown makes things worse, and I believe this much worse. What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down, I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way?
There have been countless times Chuck Schumer has said this, but now that doesn't seem to matter. Some people say he's doing it because he's scared that he's going to get primaried by AOC. Also, we know the Democratic base is not happy with their leaders right now, so this could be them showing their base that they're fighting. Either way, it's hypocritical. And on top of that, they're trying to frame this as a Republican shutdown when they are using the filibuster in the Senate to stop this from getting through. Republicans want to pass a clean, continuing resolution to keep the government funded. Democrats are essentially trying to hijack the funding of the government in order to get policy changes, but they won't tell you that. And Chuck Schumer is the minority leader for the Democrats in the Senate. It's already passed in the House. The president wants to sign it. They are purposely stopping this from getting through, and they're trying to use funding the government as leverage to get more policy changes in their favor. That's what's happening.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open, and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But are Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
So then yes, is the answer to that question. She could have easily said, no, we don't want health care for people who are here illegally, and they need to be removed from our country. She could have came out and said that, no problem. But she didn't. She said we want health care for everybody. That means people who are in this country illegally who should not be here. Also, under Trump's big, beautiful bill, there has been $50 billion allocated to rural health and rural hospitals. On top of that, Republicans have tried to pass a clean CR, a clean continuing resolution to keep the government funded while they debate about healthcare and other things. Democrats have said no. They're using the filibuster in the Senate to stop this from passing. So they could choose to have a clean bill that funds the government and just keeps things as they are right now, but they're actually using this as leverage to try to get what they want. They're saying in order for us to fund the government, you guys need to roll back certain provisions from the one big beautiful bill. So again, Republicans have tried to pass a clean continuing resolution just to keep the government running. Democrats are trying to use this as leverage to try to force policy changes. So they'll use the Senate filibuster to stop this from passing and then claim Republicans are causing a shutdown. It's like sticking a bunch of metal into gears turning and then blaming the gears for stopping. You shoved a bunch of metal in the gears. When they say this is a Republican shutdown, that is a lie. A more accurate term would be a Schumer shutdown, because Schumer and his allies in the Senate are using the filibuster to stop a clean continuing resolution from passing. Anyway, if you want more details, I just sent this article out to my email newsletter, kind of giving people a more in-depth explanation of what's happening. It's a great place to get more in-depth information from me, and I cannot be censored here. If you want to find this exact article, just download the Substack app, go find my name, and then the article will be titled Understanding the Government Shutdown. And if you want to sign up for my email newsletter so you don't miss things like that in the future, the link is in my profile. Just go there, click the link. You'll see this screen here. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. We'll see you in the next one.